Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Basically, this is the 72 number part. In this, basically, we discussed the constructor, destructor, everything. Basically, we discussed, right? And we saw that also that what is the major difference between the PHP programming, sorry, the PHP designer group basically who designed the program, and the difference between their their programming and our programming. And we saw that also basically what is the difference between owner and the worker basically, because owner always will be owner, he always keeps his control, otherwise basically he might get out from the ownership basically, and that's very dangerous basically. So that's why PHP group always keeps their ownership, not only PHP basically, each and every group basically keeps their ownership basically. So one of the person told that there might be reasons, Sunil, you are not getting the job basically. So you are basically just searching the job basically. Nothing else you are doing. You want any ownership basically from the company, these, that basically. No, basically. You are just searching one simple job here. So that basically you can start your journey. You can basically have the second marriage. You can basically start the journey basically of the father, mother basically. Like this basically you can start the journey. Nothing else basically is your demand basically. So here basically one of the person told that, so one normal person doing the programming in PHP and the PHP designer basically group is doing the program. So there is a difference basically. There is a major difference basically. And they have a full control of everything basically. So if there is a full control, that means the performance of the programming of the program also basically there would be difference basically. Now basically one of the person told here ये क्या है access modifier basically. Access modifier, the owner basically have different access, the company worker basically have different access, the peon basically have different access, the company CEO basically have a different access, company director basically have a different access. So what is this basically? So one of the person said this is the access modifier basically. The CEO basically have different type of access. He can fire anyone basically. Director basically can fire anyone. Project manager basically can't fire anyone. One developer basically can't fire anyone. One software company basically Sunil or NAIR basically applied to Accenture. He was not able to get the job. Why? Because the project manager, project director basically over the HR department basically declined their resume basically and told that basically he is not eligible for the job basically. So that's it. That basically is the access modifier basically. So particular group basically have access. So once the Accenture basically told no, basically we will not give him job. So entire Accenture group basically automatically came into picture basically. Nowadays it's like that basically. It's a union basically. Once the Accenture basically told he will not give the job, that means Accenture basically connected, assume that basically 1 lakh software companies are connected. So that 1 lakh software company will say, why we can't give job to Sunil or Nair. So that is what? That is access modifier also only, no, basically. That is access modified only. So in this basically we are going to discuss few access modifier basically which is used in the PHP basically. Public access to everyone basically. Public is a, when you basically access the, sorry, when you upload the YouTube video channel basically. Just now basically I have uploaded few YouTube channels, few YouTube videos. In that basically I have given the access modifier as public basically, so that anyone basically can access this video basically. But if YouTube group basically or Google group basically has told that basically Few people only basically are supposed to be watch this video. That is also one of the access modifier basically. But this type of they thing basically they do no basically they can't do basically. But few group basically say that for business purpose basically for money purpose this group can go up to the level basically. This group basically can go up to the level that is basically the sales and that is the business basically. So one of the person told that let's take one example of the access modifier. Uh, I will take one example of the Maruti car showroom basically. But you will not able to believe it basically. The example is like this. Maruti group basically given me few numbers basically. Assume that basically Maruti showroom group basically they given me some number to Sunil or Nair. Just call these customers and sorry, call these people and tell them basically this is our product, this is our car, these all are our models, these all are our Baleno, Vitara, I Invicto. Like this basically these all are the cars and you have done the inquiry of these all cars basically. So are you basically interested? Like this Sunil Nair basically called 100 people basically. But from 100 people basically 15 people basically were convinced. Convinced means they basically are ready to purchase the car. So that was tracked by one of the manager of Maruti. So he immediately basically changed the number of Sunilar Nair mobile number, Sunilar Nair mobile basically. So one of the person of the why basically he has done like this here basically. Because whenever you are next time basically going to call them basically, that is not the person basically. Why? Because that number was modified by the Maruti company. So one of the person told that Maruti got the permission of Samsung basically. So Samsung group basically has given the permission to Maruti that Maruti you can change the number of mobile number. So they are basically using private access modifier basically. Private means they can do anything basically of the public mobile number basically. So that's very dangerous basically. Yeah. Here basically one of the person told that government also basically given the permission just for lack of some money basically. Assume that basically something happened to Sunila Nair, some basically head got damaged, eye got damaged, then government will give the money to Sunila Nair basically. Assume that basically 15 lakh rupees basically spent in Sunila Nair head damage. So government will pay basically 15 lakh rupees. No, basically, they are not going to pay. Why? They have just given the excess basically. Just for, do you know what excess basically? 100 rupees basically. Government basically taken 100 rupees and Sunilar Nair basically got 15 lakh rupees spent basically in head damage. Here basically I am just taking as an example. So one of the person to the एक 100 रुपए के लिए गवर्नमेंट डैमेज सुनीला नायर्स हेड basically. सो वन ऑफ द पर्सन टू ये क्या है दिस इज सेल्स बेसिकली मतलब इतना गंदा सेल्स वन ऑफ द पर्सन टू सो बैड सेल्स बेसिकली डन बाय द मारुति ग्रुप not only Maruti basically or almost all automobile industry basically are doing like this way. So the person who was calling the basically he told that yeah ये 15 customer basically they were basically going to purchase now basically they are not going to purchase why because the number was changed and that number basically was given of the employee of the Maruti basically the old employees basically so you can just able to imagine basically up to what level the sales industry has reached but the people who feel that basically nobody can track this that's their mistake basically but this is the very bad sales basically I am telling you basically so whatever basically this was the example of access modifier basically. So in this public is there, private is there and protected is there basically. Public everybody knows. Protected basically the within the class protected is deriving class also basically can access and private basically private class. In next video basically we are going to see in detail of this.